All right, guys, we're recording. I'm going to just have all of our beautiful background music blocked. So it's so good to be here. Golly, I don't even know really where to begin seeing some of your faces. I just got back from just one of the most living the vision of why I wanted to build an Isagenix business to really create experiences and experience cultures and just live the ISA life, right? And so to be able to do something like going on a 20-day trip down to Costa Rica and then Asheville, seeing the Abraham Hicks event, and then going down to collaborate with, Rod, Healthy Mind and Body creators and stuff for more value. It just really goes to show the power, you guys, of a vision and just holding that, and that I couldn't have planned out kind of so many of the details previously. So that's kind of I just want to share some inspiration that I found throughout just the journey, and kind of even looking at then, okay, applying it to the Isagenix business. And I know that you guys are rocking out the 90-day run with Shanna, who's just doing an amazing job, and everybody who collaborates and comes together, and just like the community and culture. And I can say, no matter where you go in the world, it's really, community. And it's that there's this craving that people have. Why are people willing to fly all the way down to Costa Rica when they live somewhere that they could easily go to, some things around, where they're coming for this experience. They're coming to experience something maybe that they haven't before, that's outside of their comfort zone. And to, realize that too, and even in, families and everything, it really does. People are looking for that sense of belonging. And so, thinking about just the culture of Isagenix and just being really led back, to that, and just being so excited that I have found this vehicle, in a sense, of attending retreats, doing like personal development and stuff, as a way that I'm networking and I'm, meeting so many people and having fun, it's completely different than kind of how I was doing it before. But because it has flowed in, and it's like, wait, this is how I have the most fun, connecting with people, really being in these communities together. And so like asking myself then questions like, okay, what is it around here now that, you're back home, that you can do to, reach out to people, as far as, going to more in-person things, or yoga, or if you have kids, doing more play dates and things like that, of getting around, if that's something that is like, you feel like you're in this rut or a stuckness or whatnot. It was just like this whole reminder of shaking it up and just letting inspiration, flow back through you. And I did, I was working with plant medicine down in Costa Rica, and a lot of breath work. And there's some things that you just don't know. And until you kind of experience it, or somebody really couldn't even prepare me for what I experienced down there in those breath workshops. And then really just, oh my gosh, I was cleansing my body. I think that's why I had such a great experience too. You guys, our products are so high vibrational, and what it is that they can offer us at our frequency. And to really, the message became so clear. Ron and I were down there together, and it was, your frequency really is it was just so clear that how you feel in any moment is your point of power, is your point of attraction. We can get around it. We can do any system, any skill set, any activity, anything. But if we're not checking in with our number one power source, which is us, which nobody can tell you, no trainer, nobody, it is you going inside and feeling what it is for you, so that then you can project that out. And one of the message was just like, really nothing matters. At the end of the day, I want to ask you, like, as far as when I say like nothing matters, like, we're all going to be okay regardless of anything that happens, right? So all these worries or all these stressors that we allow to come in, and then we start these momentum rants about what could go wrong, or worry, or because we're stuck in these kind of current fields that we're in. It's like, it always works out, right? It always works out. It's always fine. And so to give yourself permission to not take yourself to states of stress when something isn't going an expected way. That just really, it's like, that's the power behind it all. It's like, that's the secret. When I was down there in the In-State to Create event with, Rod and Tanya and Molly and so many of us have taken their programs and how much we love them. And it's like the conversations that are constantly being had is what's going good, what feels good, and not, what's going wrong, or what. It's like whatever you want to focus on, like 1,000% you're going to find. And so as I was going through this, just really a lot of meditation, a lot of breathing, just a lot of inwardness and silence. And it was just like, that was just the continuous, constant message was, Casey, you are always connected to your power. If you just go inward, get silent, and will allow yourself to feel good right now for the simple reason of feeling good and being excited about just being able to take a breath, for having life, for the smallest, most simplest things. If that can become your essence, it is the stepping stone to everything else, and it will unlock you. And if you've been in this resistant state from receiving, if you've had this vision, you've had this goal and it hasn't come in, there is a resistance present. That is the only reason why it has not come in, be it if it's a belief, and mostly that is always what it is, right? It's the belief that we believe that we can't. And so if we start small, you guys, and we just honor where we are, it doesn't matter why we're there. And it's just when I step into that and I'm practicing it, people just fall out of the woodworks. Like these new builders just show, it's like my business explodes in a sense of all the people that I begin talking to want Isagenix, they're interested in it, or we can just build this instant, easy flow of communication because I focused on one thing. How can I feel better right now? And it doesn't matter. I don't care what subject you're focusing on. If it can take you to a sense of relief or feeling a little bit better, like that's it. And that was this whole thing when we, Morgan and I were down at the Abraham Hicks. It was like sometimes we're just beating this thing to a dead horse, or we're trying to make it so complex that it needs to be something more than it is. And I can't think of anything more simple than asking myself, how do I feel? Do I feel good? Okay, I'm in alignment and I'm heading into the direction of my vision and my dreams. Do I feel bad? Am I having bad feelings, right? Now there's a difference between fear and stepping through fear, because that can be an exciting feeling. That can be a knowing feeling of excitement and enthusiasm about getting on the other side of something that you know is going to be this beautiful growth moment, and it can challenge you, but you know you can do it. Or are you stuck in just massive doubt, anxiety, worry? And I was like, just ask yourself, do I feel good? Do I feel bad? And whatever, it's literally that freaking simple. And then whatever you can do to shift your thoughts there. So do I feel good about my business right now? If the answer is I feel bad about my business right now, I feel bad about my business's growth right now, what can we then shift it to then where it's a good feeling, and what can we put our focus on? What can we put our attention on? And it just has to be that constant self-evaluation of yourself, and nobody knows it but you. And I just want to invite everybody to get as weird and authentic and true to you and how you want to brand yourself, portray yourself, what you want to share, what you want to type, how you want to post, of really when you're trying to connect with people, right? Like when you're really looking at how can I connect with people at a very high level that will allow them to experience this ISA life, this everything that Isagenix is, from the values that Isagenix represents. Like, how do I want to connect with people and invite them in? And if you get raw and vulnerable and authentic and put something out there that's so true for you, it doesn't matter if people are going to like it. Like, that is you putting your essence out there, and it will flow back. And I know for me, when I take the time to write what's on my heart, and like, I'm not even thinking about, is somebody going to think it's crazy? Am I putting in like a word that somebody's going to be offended by? Like all those things that I used to try to censor myself because I don't want to offend somebody, or I don't want to miss out, quote unquote, on attracting somebody. But it's like that's I'm completely blocking my ability to put out my genius and my greatness and my flow in those moments as well. So I just want to really ask yourself, am I censoring myself when I'm posting? Am I censoring myself? Or am I thinking so much about something that I want to share that's on my heart that I block it? And, Alex Hoffman, he really always talks about, just your heart. If you can build this business from your heart, and it's about people, and you can remember that, and you can connect to people on a heart frequency, that's a key. That's a key, because that's always in a feeling state. And up here, this is the anxiety state. Up here, we go trying to go, and then this is the love state. This is the unconditional love of a parent's love to a child who's driving them crazy, and they're up here, right? So, but what still remains true in that child knowing how they feel? It's the heart space, right? It's the love, and so just as far as with like living out loud and being bold, and I want to share this. This is a poem that I've used. I've had it laminated. I know I've given it to some of you guys, and I've had it shared many times. And I know I share it from stage in my speaking. And it's the poem by Marianne Williamson. I just want you just close your eyes, take a breath with me, indulge me to being out in the jungle and L. Airy Fairy. Just take a breath with me and close your eyes and just listen to these words and ask yourself, is this true for me? Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Guys, so it's like as we liberate ourselves, and when I think about liberation, I'm totally thinking about just like this judgment, like we're just like, I just have to liberate myself from any concern about anything other than being in my own authentic truth. And I invite every single person for that too. And when you put that behind the vehicle of Isagenix, when that becomes the vehicle to live this life how you want, like that's when it kind of just all starts to swirl together. And there's Laura Stevens and Kelly Dickerhoff are doing a light turn. I'm going to share those dates, make sure that we're all aware of those. But this is some of the questions that they have at their business events are these. What are some places you want to travel to? If you could eliminate 3 stressors from your life, what would they be? List 3 things you're passionate about and 3 things that give you the most fulfillment. Right? You name 3 organizations you currently wish you could give to, right? So it's like giving back. Because so many of us, we want to earn these vehicles to give back. Every single person I talk to, it's about giving back. If you had an extra $1,000, what would you do to treat yourself? How would you like to treat yourself? Write out your dream day from when you wake until when you go to sleep. Describe your dream job. So it's like all about this dreaming and this feeling. What did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a child, right? Just asking those questions again, like your dreams and creating that playfulness and this creativity, because I feel like we get so attached, with Isagen, with being a professional network marketer, which is a path. And I love being a professional network marketer. And if people often ask me, I say, yeah, absolutely. And I often say I'm a professional network marketer. That's often what flows out of me. But at the same time, there's also so many things of the reason why I wanted to be a professional network marketer, for what came with that, to all of those answers that I gave to questions like that. Right? It is about the organizations to give to, instead of just, okay, I'm this professional network marketer, I connect, I enroll, I duplicate, like all those things, right? All of that is here. It's like, the reason behind all of it and attaching to that and inviting others to do the same, and then go out and be their own light and shine bright and use their gifts on how they can share it, how they can build presence. And this micro needing to kind of, put in this box of how it should look, it is just not going to look the same for everybody. And it's robbing the world of your genius, of your greatness, of your light, when you step into this idea of having to do it like somebody else's way. You guys, there's nothing, they do say, find somebody who's done what you've done and follow them. That's great. Study it, look at it, see how it feels to you. I'm telling you, if we're not tapping in, if we're not getting quiet, if we're not asking ourselves, if I didn't know how it should look, how would I do it? How would it feel good to do? There's this whole thing around, if it doesn't duplicate, it doesn't matter. I'm here to say, if it doesn't feel good and if you're not having fun, it doesn't freaking matter, because that is your essence of it not feeling good, and you're not having fun. And that right there is going to be your point of attraction, and that's what it's bringing in, right? And so systems are all there. Those are all duplicatable. Those are there. Of course they're duplicatable. People are going to use the systems different too. Whoopee, right? And so it's like, I'm just so detached from how anybody wants to do it, other than how it feels good for them and in alignment. And as a leader, as a mentor, as a coach, I have made the commitment to know of all the ways, and being an observer and checking in and asking myself questions and offering those ways to people, because every single person has their own inner guidance system, and to not opinionate on others on what it should look like. So if anything I'm saying tonight doesn't resonate with you, put it out, right? But it's having to check in with that. And I'm telling you start doing that. And it's like, you stop giving a flip about what anybody else is thinking, or about like what a recognition thing is saying, or where it is. And it's just, your focus is on your purpose and how you're feeling right now. Everything else will automatically start to lift up. It's just the way it works. It's frequency. Like attracts like. And it's like, it's how simple, how its complexity is its simplicity. Like, that is how simple it can be. And of course, the breathing and the cleansing and all these things that we can do to feel better. But you guys, it's catching yourself just right then and there and asking that question. And so when I was on the beach with Rhonda, and we were just talking about what a beautiful thing it was, the ceremony, and just all these awakenings that people were having with plant medicine, and just really kind of the veil lifting and all the illusions just being wiped away, that really love is the only thing that's real, regardless of your belief and your background. Like, if there was nothingness and there's love, God, universe, like, we come from that, and that's where we'll go back. That's eternal. Right? That's where we're going to go back to. And so we're all these eternal souls here. And so it's like, in this illusion of reality, this whole notion that like, this is what's real. It's like, we are these freaking creators. We have these souls. Are we using that, or is it our light that most frightens us? Because we know, if we unleash us, if we go into authentic mode, if we stop listening to outside people and check in with what is true for us, it is our freaking light that frightens us, because we start getting all these ideas, all these creative waves start like moving through us on how we want to do it, how it feels good to do, be if it's impacting one person at that moment, or if you're going to impact 20 people. But when you allow that to roll through, you guys, I'm telling you, your personal events that you do, your personal touches on everything, your personal community things, it's going to feel so good, because you're not comparing it and then this judgment to anything else, but what is in alignment for your soul, and only you can answer that. So it's about checking in with you and returning back to your power source that you were always with. I love seeing a turtle, because a turtle always reminds me of the message that I am home. No matter where you are, you are always home. You are in this temple and you always have connect, right? They're always in their shell. And you always have the ability in prayer and meditation and silent, whatever it is, however you can connect, do your direct connect to God, to Christ, great, to whatever it is for you that you will get your, because if we're looking to any outside person to get power or to get a skill, it is not going to be the same. And there is going to be that allowing of your brilliance flowing through. And what a devastation to the world for all of those of us who build this because we want to serve at really high levels. What a devastation. It's all good in the end, right? It's all chill. Everything's going to still be good. We're going to go back to love and all is well. But like thinking about that. So have I been playing small? And if so, it's not even in my skill sets or in my activity. It's more so in allowing myself to be authentically me and speak from my soul instead of thinking about what should I be saying or what do I think people need. Like, let me just let my soul kind of lead, right? Let me just put the intention out there and then just let that lead. And I can always check in. Am I feeling good? Am I feeling bad? That I know I'm in alignment or disempowerment? And whatever you have to do, whatever you find to shift that state. So Ashley, she spoke about hugs, and a 20-second hug is like such a powerful way to elevate yourself. It releases chemicals and everything. So I just want to invite everybody to hug more in your family, or if you find yourself in an argument or in a moment of stress with somebody too, just ask to hug it out. Just say, look, we can come back to this conversation, but let's just hug for 20 seconds. That would change the world. Right? Hug it for 20 seconds in the middle of that, because what'll that do? That'll elevate you. That'll put you in a different state. Instead of trying to be up here, figuring it all out, it'll put you back into here. And when you're in here, you're operating from your God self. And there is nothing that is more exciting for me than that. So I don't know, maybe it's not for you. You have to check in, ask yourself those questions. So events that are coming up, we have, I want to show my screen, see if I can show this picture. Share screen. Here we go. All right, so you'll see this. This is the Shine Your Light tour. So how fun, and if you look at somebody like, I was going to say Laura Stevens, who went really fast overnight. It's all about that shining her light. And she's done it her way. She wasn't looking outside and just kind of tapped into that. I know a lot of us like to follow her and, emulate because she's so brilliant, but looking at those questions that they're asking and doing these types of events, I'm like, it's so freaking clear why business exploded. So she was in an authentic truth. She's so passionate about talking about dream big with God. She's not apologetic for it. That's her truth. And she builds community around that authentic, feeling that she's having. And so what a blessing that we get to go and learn. So this is the, so screenshot this right here. I'm super excited. She's going to be in a lot of the area in Fayetteville and Charlotte, or do you know people that are in these areas for all the ones coming up that you can invite to? Because, oh my gosh, this is going to be just such an incredible thing, you guys. Even if you weren't bringing anybody, which it's my number one focus of building my business right now, is everybody to this event. But even if you go just so that you could take from it what resonates with you and then incorporate your authenticity behind it, it's not going to be just how they did it, right? It's going to be your own authentic truth behind it. And if that starts rippling, you're going to be feeling good. You're going to be in this truth. You're going to be having excitement. You're going to be in growth mode, and it's going to be this attractor vector, and that will just, that just parts the seas. I'm telling you, just parts it. And then, of course, we have our Isagenix events. .com, and I just want to remind everybody that there is the Cepeda Express, the 25th through the 28th, and if you're doing the 27th with Brandon Barber, and then also that we on the 20th, there's a lot of Super Saturdays. There's a Rock Hill, South Carolina. There's a Virginia one too. I also know it's not up here yet, but it is in Dallas. There is going to be a Super Saturday. I just talked to somebody today who's organizing it, so it'll be up here as well too. So again, you guys, looking at these, are we looking at these? Are we leveraging them? Are we inviting people based on those questions behind? Oh, I saw those questions like that's so beautiful of just showing somebody that this is about their dreams and their goals and not necessarily being a professional network marketer, right? That is kind of like a byproduct that happens through our growth and through the years that we put in because we have our vision, right, of our lives and of our team and the mission that's a part of it. And I mean, Ice Drinks just really merges with that because it's about balanced living and giving people, those vehicles. So definitely know those events. And then I want to say that there was one other one that I wanted to talk about, but it's left my mind. Oh yeah, and if you're going to UIA this weekend in Washington State, be sure if you're not in the thread to get in that thread so that we can make sure that we get all communicated. So thank you. Speaking to my soul tonight. Welcome. Yes, yes. I'm a hugger. I got this. If you're a hugger, you got this. If you can hug, you got this. So, yeah, you guys, how can it just feel? How can I feel better right now? And if I'm on a subject that I can't find a way to feel better on, I need to just switch the subject completely to change the momentum. And it's just like the idea of tipping a car, right? We can all think of a car at the top of a hill and it gets tipped and you're at the top of the hill with your car. You can step in front of that car and bump up against it to stop it, right? Before it starts rolling down. If you're right up at the top of it and you catch it right there, you can prevent that from rolling down. And so once momentum is created, in a negative belief, in a negative pattern, in a negative concept, and it has been going for a while, or my business is in a slump, I suck at it, right? And that's the dominant feeling, the dominant point of attraction. If you would not try to stop that car at the bottom of the hill, would you? Because that is going to run you over, right? Because there's so much momentum, there's so much speed behind that momentum of those bad feelings, right? Those negative ones. And so just go to the top of the hill on something else, right? So where you can just shift the because it's just how you feel. That's it. So if it's a subject that's causing you so much resistance, switch it, and just get really good at your own awareness and checking on yourself and not trying to change other people or them. I'm telling you, the greatest PhD is your PhD in yourself. This woman wrote a book called PhD in Yourself. I'm like, I freaking love that. And checking in with your own awareness because nobody else knows it. You can be sitting next to Tony Robbins and he ain't gonna know it, right? You know your truth and your authentic self and what you could be doing to really take you to let your light shine more so than Tony Robbins, more so than Oprah Winfrey could tell you. You have the same connection to your power source, to your infinite intelligence than anybody else that we put on this pedestal and we say is great. The only thing that we're seeing is that they're in more resonance and alignment with honoring their trueness through connecting with their power source. And that is the reason why it seems they're great, they're amazing, they're just turned on. And so turning yourself on is your light. It's your light switch. So let's turn on some light switches, people. Let's turn on some light switches. So I just Shanna, celebrating you, girl, for rocking out this 9-day run. So I just want to open it up if anybody has any celebrations, and I hope everybody's coming to some events that are rolling out. Community, you guys, community, and being your true self, being your authentic self, being wild, being crazy, saying what's on your soul, and living in your creative genius and ideas, and not just thinking that it has to be one way. So we all have our way. So who wants to rock out some celebrations? Oh, can people unmute themselves?
I want to congratulate Jackie Lawrence. She's got a new job, so she's not on the call. She wants a recording, but she went consultant last week, I think it was, or maybe the week before, but she missed the call. Jackie's run for the 100-pound club. She is hit consultant, and then Sarah Wolfgram, actually my cousin, she has had several enrollments. She hit consultant as well, And, just working to get these people on calls. They're not on, but I'm going to celebrate them anyway. So when I force them to watch the recording, they can see they're being recognized and that they're doing the damn thing. They're putting in the work, so, just congratulations, Ron, too, for continually showing up. And everybody that's getting on these calls. I know for me, the hardest thing in the beginning, was there was so much like wanting to change myself, and being selfish, but everybody's saying, like, get on the calls. They're going to change your life. They're going to show you the vision. And even now, so like I saw Milena saying, you're speaking to my soul. And I was thinking, like, literally not those exact words, but something very similar of like, just like, when you come on and you get on something, you're like, might not want to do it. I had a couple other things I want to do, but I got on and I was just like, holy crap. She's like, I feel like you're talking to me, just like ground yourself a little more, like, be a little more open, be a little more allowing, put that energy out there. The energy you put out is the energy you're going to get back, and if the type of people you want to attract are positive, energetic people, that's what you're going to attract. Like, put that love out there, find the value in everybody. And when you continue to do that, you're going to create leaders that do the same thing, that put out good energy, that find the value in everybody. I wasted time in the beginning making the decision for other people. And, as much as you guys told me that, now I find myself going, holy crap, I sound like Amanda. I sound like Casey. I sound like all these leaders, because I'm telling my new people, like, just offer the opportunity. You don't know who's screaming for an answer. They only want the 30-day. No, they don't. They want the value pack. You don't know what they want. Don't make the decision for them. You have no idea. Like, I've had doctors come in and they say the 30 days too expensive. And I've had EMS personnel that make $14 an hour say, give me the value pack, give me everything. So just continual growth, getting on these calls, and just always realizing that, just put it out there, put the opportunity out there, have good positive vibes, good positive energy, breathe, like, and just believe, believe that this is the ticket to whatever you want it to be, So thanks for a great call. Great call. I felt like when my eyes were closed and you're reading that, I've heard you read that 5 times in probably the past 2 years, and each time I close my eyes and it just reminds me, like, that I am worthy of all this. I do have this value to offer. I am that person. In the beginning, I questioned it and was like, man, is this me? Is this possible? Could this be me? And here I am 2.5 years later and hit so many milestones and just still open so much growth. And I hear it. And though I can relate to it, it just reminds me that this is real, because I've felt some of that, but there's so much further to go. There's so much more out there for me. So anybody that's new on this call, keep getting on the calls, continue to show up. It's going to do nothing but add value to your world.
The game, value. I heard somebody say how you affect others is your currency in life. And I thought about that because I was like, well, I'm not responsible for how anybody feels, right? Like, totally, everybody's responsible. But at the same time, if my greatest currency, though, is how I feel, because when I liberate myself, I automatically give other people to liberate themselves just from being in my presence. And so I was like, oh my gosh, that is it. But then it's still, you guys, it comes back to that inner chameleon. I'm definitely going to be talking about this book here too, coming up, just the Mach 2 with your hair on fire, because it's all about like vision and self-motivation, because like that is it, like that self-motivation for like your truth, your vision, and really some clarity on that. So thank you, Jordan. That was beautiful. I love you, my brother. Congrats, yay, enrollments and consultants, so exciting. Lots.
I just want to say congratulations to my friend Mai there. She had an enrollment tonight, and she has been a very inspiring role model and just keep our team growing. And I just love her energy, and she is absolutely amazing. I'm so glad to be a part of this team with you guys and have her as my leaders and a coach. So congratulations, Mai. Keep it up.
Yay, Mai!
You're going to make me cry.
Who else? That was a beautiful share, girl. I love it. It's this community. It's just, guys, we have the ability to liberate people by liberating ourselves from like this, oh my gosh, this conformity, this judgment, this fear, this worry about like how other people are going to perceive us, what people are going to think. Am I going to feel like we have this ability to really step into our power and invite people into that with amazing people in your team? That's the vehicle of Isagenix. That feels good.
I wanted to thank Milena too. I mean, since I was in Chicago, we did a team dinner, and Milena came to the end of the table, and she sat with Jackie and I and a few other people, and she just got chatting with Jackie. And I remember looking at her. She was just staring Jackie in the face, and she was like laser focused. And she said in so many different ways and in so many different contexts, but with so much fire and so much passion. And she just kept telling her. And it was just when she says, speak to your soul, it was just speaking to my soul too, because I needed to hear it. And she just kept telling her, you don't have to ask anyone's permission. And I heard you say that in some context again tonight. And like, you don't ask permission for anything. You don't have to ask permission to offer the nutrition. You don't have to ask permission to offer the opportunity. You don't have to ask permission to share your story. You don't have to ask for permission to share your pictures, like to do anything. You don't have to ask permission. You just go out and do it, because this is your journey. This is your world. This is your one at bat. So why not swing for the damn fences? Like, quit asking permission. Quit worrying about the judgment. Quit worrying about the chatter from the naysayers, from broke people, unhappy people, people that are screaming for an answer, but they're just, they're whatever it is, their defense mechanism is negativity, and when you continue to stop, when you just quit asking permission for everything, and you just continue to show up, and you just put your love and your joy and your happiness and your greatness out there, people are going to be attracted to you. Instead of sitting back, being timid and always, you're not really asking it out loud, but a lot of us sit back and we're like thinking, like, if I do this post, like, what are they going to say? If I post this picture, what are they going to say? If I type this messenger and say, hey, would you be interested in taking a look at this opportunity? What are they going to say? Like, who cares? Because all they can say is no. Just quit asking permission, you guys. Like, I've been telling myself that over and over since I heard Milena say that. And I've said it to Jackie 10 times. Like, do you remember what you and Milena told you? Like, because Milena just had this fire in her eyes, and she was so convicted. And I was just like, what a badass. Like, like you want that from everybody in your organization. Like, you want that person, that fire, that energy, that fearlessness to just go out and seize the day every single day, because tomorrow you might not wake up. You might not have another day. So seize this day with everything you got, and do not ask permission. Just do it.
And even if there's anybody that's ever in a naysayer or a way, there's fear and there's love. I mean, those are really the two. Love is real, and fear is the illusion. And that's really like taking it back, to what we truly are. Remember who you are at your core, a soul, love, right? And then there's operating out of fear. And so we don't ever have to be in judgment. And when we're judging something, we can't influence it, right? And so if we're in a judgment mode, there's no influencing somebody or allowing them to feel our love and our belief in them if we're judging somebody. And so to step into a space of knowing that somebody's in fear and casting love and saying, I believe, and it can be silent, and the greatest salesman in the world, it talks about love is the greatest weapon, and none on whom it calls can defend against it. Love. And like thinking about that, just remembering that, like, anytime we're interacting with others, you can never allow them to feel your love, your holy self, your God's, when you're in a form of judgment, because that is not the holy self, the high self. Judgment is not there. So love is. So let's be a team of love, man. Let's just get out there and freaking love some people and invite and share and be in our authentic, crazy truth. And I'll see you guys at some events. If nobody else has any other shout out, just
Hey, KCP.
Hey, what up, Katie Bob?
Hi. I just had to get on for a minute and just definitely give a shout out to Mai and Serena and the girls that are always there. They're on the calls. I coached a little bit with Mai today, but I wanted to comment on what you said about love is the answer. It's the most powerful force that we have available to us on this earth and within ourselves. And when people ask me how I built my business, that's the simple answer. is I built it with love. The company leads with love. The people that are thriving in this business, you feel so much love. Right before this call, I got on with Kathy Coover and Nesbitt, Adam Nesbitt and Bianca that are over there in New Zealand. And they have just 4 million people in that country. And they have just from the top of the country to the bottom of the country, just with their enthusiasm. They were both super successful in their businesses, but they saw the freedom and they wanted to share that with everyone. So I would definitely watch that call recorded to just know that to have success in this business, it's not about having the perfect script or the saying the perfect thing. But when I get on the phone with people, I was telling Mai today, and I'm asking them questions, I just simply want to know, how did you achieve your success? What makes you, what puts you in this direction to want to become a nurse or want to become a firefighter or whatever it is, just being interested in other people and realizing that people want to be loved. It's like the 20-second hug. And then I feel like that's what we're doing by getting on the phone with people, is we're giving them a hug and saying, hey, we care about you. I want to know your story and how I can make a difference for you. So I just want to add a little bit of love on top of love, that I believe wholeheartedly that that's the fastest way to build this business.
Yeah. Amen. I agree. And self-love, I'm going to love me so much so I can love others so much. I had that conversation with my husband. I said, you know, Michael, the more that I freaking love myself, the more I'm able to love you. And the less that I depend on you to love me, like the more that I love myself and the more that I love you. Like, it's just so beautiful too. Like, of just that, oh my gosh. So includes self-love, you guys, how you talk to yourself, or especially how you talk to yourself, right? More so than even massages and whatnot. How you talk to yourself. Let that be a watchman at the gate and catch those, you know, if you wouldn't talk to, you know, your children that way, or to somebody who's trying something new for the first time, or like, don't talk to yourself that way, right? So, or somebody who's trying to grow, like, talk kindness, extend that love to yourself, and ripple. So, all right. Love it. I love you all, and see some of you guys at the UIA, and excited, and then at next event. So bye. Great week. Don't forget, if you're running out with the 9-day run, that is Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.